Hello students, I am your course instructor Dr. Chaya BM, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, SVIT. In this video, we will be looking into scheduling strategies and priority structures. Two basic scheduling strategies are discussed. The first one is cyclic and preemptive. Cyclic scheduling strategy. In this strategy, the CPU allocates its time as long as task wishes. Suppose if we consider three tasks T1, T2, T3. So here T1 is executed first, then T2 and then T3 in a cyclic manner. Hence we call it as a cyclic scheduling strategies. So here these are basically used for small embedded systems. And we must ensure that these tasks execution times are calculated carefully. Task execution time are calculated carefully. So this is a cyclic scheduling and a basic strategy of scheduling algorithms. Preemptive scheduling. Suppose there are two tasks T1 and T2. So T1 will be currently running. So this is a currently running task. So while it is executing, so before the completion of the execution of this particular T1, so it will be interrupted by highest priority task T2. It is interrupted by highest priority task T2. This process is called as preemption. So while there is a preemption, it has to perform context switching. So while there is a preemption, it has to perform context switching, because T2, which is of highest priority, it starts executing now because it has been interrupted by this particular task. So it starts executing, and after the execution of this highest priority task, it has to resume back to the position where it was interrupted, right? So both the status of the task has to be saved. So that process is done using context switching. Simplest form of preemptive scheduling is nothing but time slicing approach. We also call it as a round robin method. This is also a basic scheduling strategies. Suppose if there is T1, T2, T3, three tasks. So CPU will give equal amount of time to each and every task, called as quanta. So all the tasks have been given equal execution time, which is called as quanta or tick. So in a round robin method, all the tasks are given equal importance. To share CPU time. So each ready task that runs turn by turn only in the cyclic for the limited time slice. The time slice should be minimum. So you have to ensure that the time slice allocated by the CPU to each and every task should be minimum. So that will differ from one operating system to another operating system. This round robin is the oldest and fairest and easiest algorithm. So next is priority scheduling. It is the one which executes processes according to which the tasks are of highest priority are executed first always. So the task with highest priority are always given the importance. Task with highest priority will be executed first. Okay, most of the RTOS uses priority scheduling mechanism. For example, if T1, there are many tasks T1, T2, T3, etc. If T1 is currently executing, at the end of time slice, if T3 is ready, so at the end of time slice, if T3 is ready, So it will be placed next. So we can prioritize the task. So we can just make it T1, T3 and T2. So this priority dynamic allocation is possible in case of priority scheduling. So here again we have two types of priority scheduling strategies to be discussed. One is static priority. Static priority meaning that the task execution times are fixed or the task priorities are fixed. Task priorities are fixed in case of static priority, and we have one more category, that is the dynamic priority scheduling. So in this, the task priorities are decided as and when it runs. Task priorities are determined dynamically. As and when it runs. Priority structures of RTOs. We know that in RTS, priorities become very important. Priority will basically depend on how quickly the task has to respond to a particular event. So here we are discussing three levels of priorities. First one is interrupt level, clock level, base level. So in the clock level we have two subsections, that is cyclic task and delay task. So the three priority levels are the interrupt level, clock level and the base level. So we have base level. Basically at the interrupt level we will have a task which are of highest priority. When I say highest priority, these are the tasks which requires fast response time, may be measured in milliseconds or microseconds. So always the importance is given to the highest priority task. So after executing this highest priority task, it transfers its control to the next two lowest priority levels. The next level we can see here is clock level task. Here each clock interrupt, we call it as a tick. So the function of the clock level is basically to take care of clock handling routines, and it is the one which is helping out to update the time of day clock, which is done by the dispatcher software. So basically in the clock level we need to discuss two types of clock level tasks. The first one is cyclic and delay task. So next we can see that there is a base level scheduler. We can see there is a base level scheduler where all the lowest priority tasks which have no deadline to meet are placed at this level. That is, the task with low priority or sometimes no priorities at all are always placed at this particular level. So we understood that interrupt level is the one which always has highest priority tasks, and base level tasks are the one which has lowest priority tasks. So in order to update the clock and to handle the clock related routines, there is a clock level. So this clock level has two subsections, cyclic and delay task. Let's look into more detail on what is clock level task. Cyclic tasks. So basically these are the tasks which are ordered in priority. This is the first thing, they are ordered in priority, and those tasks that require highest accuracy are given highest priority in case of cyclic tasks. So hence they require accurate synchronization with outside world. Accurate synchronization with outside world. So let's see one example to make you understand what is cyclic task. So here we can see there are three tasks A, B, C. So assuming that A is having highest priority, next B and next C. So A is appearing at every first tick, B is appearing at every second tick, and C is appearing at every fourth tick. Okay. So here, if A, B, C are the three tasks, if A is having highest priority, then processing will proceed as shown in the figure. So we can see that A appears first. You can carefully see that A appears at every first tick, B appears at every second tick. So A, since it is of highest priority, at every first tick it appears and it executes. B is of second priority. After execution of A, B executes. So there is a small jitter while it is switching from A task to B task. So B will not appear at the third tick because it will appear at every second tick. So this is cyclic task. We can see that C is of the last task which is appearing at every fourth tick. Now you can see that you will have A task, B task is appearing at every second tick, so obviously B will also appear here, and C. We can see that first A executes since A is of highest priority, next B and next C. We can notice that while B and C are executing, there is some delay or jitter which can be observed. So while there is a switch between A, B, C. Delay task, these are the tasks which basically switch from runnable to suspended state. So any task is waiting for any delay or passage of time, or sometimes it may be waiting for a resource which is being occupied by the highest priority task. In such cases, the task remain in suspended state until the delay period has been elapsed. So all such delay tasks will be placed in a delay queue. So this is called as a delay task. Thank you.